What's up, guys? Here we go. So I've been waiting for this podcast for a little while. I love fantasy football. So today we have the Fantasy Football Outlook. It's going to be a quick podcast. 15, 20 minutes. We'll chat a little bit here. But we're going to go over all the different fantasy football leagues that I have available to join me and the different leagues that I do, what we have, and offering you guys the opportunity to come and play. Been super excited about this one. Cannot wait to get into it. Here we go. Alright guys, here we go. So I do not have a slide for this, so we're just going to kind of talk through this, but we're going to hit fantasy football first. So I have multiple different leagues that are available to join up and to be able to do. And it is one that I love fantasy football. I've been playing since... the first big fantasy football league that I remember joining was the year 2000 when my dad, who worked at the FAA, they had a fantasy football league that they did. They invited Dad. Dad doesn't do fantasy football, but they had two guys already there that the dads were there, but the sons were running the team, so Dad asked me if I wanted to do it. I absolutely jumped at the opportunity. Completely bombed my first year. It was absolutely awesome and made one of the biggest rookie mistakes ever. I released all of my players before the championship game, and if the guy that lost didn't pick up my quarterback and played with his own, he would have won the championship. It was awesome. I caused havoc in my first year. It was absolutely fantastic. 10-year-old changing outcomes of fantasy football championship games. But I have loved it for well over 25 years now. And it's such a thrill to me because I don't get wrapped up like a fanatic does. I can understand as an adult that, two things can be true at the same time, like being able to root for your team to win, but understanding they're not going to be able to stop this player. Although I do admit that I could never draft Tom Brady. I will admit there have been a couple of players that I have never, no matter how much I should have, I could never draft. Tom Brady is one of them, but I love it. I absolutely love it. And fanatics don't have the ability because they get wrapped up in their team and everything else, but that's what makes it so much fun. So I am in multiple leagues. So I have a league that's actually at my church that I won last year. And then a guy that won the second league at our church also plays Dynasty with us. And we've got two Dynasty right now. One that I came in as an expansion team in, my first introduction into Dynasty. And that league is mostly dead-ish. Only about half the league is actually active. And then you have the one that is what I consider currently my main one. Which is everybody's there, everybody's active during the season, everybody plays, is willing to do things, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, it is an absolute blast. So I have got different leagues that we're starting up. In total, I will have 8 to 10 fantasy football leagues going in the going this season. We've got ones that are the old fashioned redraft every year. We've got ones that are keeper, and then we've got ones that are dynasty. So a keeper, the difference between dynasty and keeper leagues, you get to keep a set amount of players. My number is always 6. You get to keep 6 players from your team, and then the rest go back into the pool to be drafted the following year. In dynasty, you don't lose any of your players. You're the GM. They just don't have contracts. They're only gone off your team when you decide you're going to get rid of them. And Dynasty changes everything because it really finds out who can just simply manage a team. I will tell you guys straight up front. I am one where life can affect how I manage my team. When, stuff's, rough at home, work, in general, I use fantasy football sometimes to be able to do things that are absolutely crazy. And it's not because I necessarily want to, it's because I'm having fun doing it because of the stress from life. It is one of those different things. So there is different ways. I could possibly have already won multiple times if I didn't do that every once in a while, but I have fun doing it. So we have got 4 open leagues that I want to talk to you about. So the first one is going to be Thunder Sports. That is actually the name of my server. Some of you know I owned an esports organization. The time has officially come to kind of let that officially fall off. The game has completely died. It's not worth any money being put into it at this point. So I have moved everything to sports with the podcast, fantasy football. The server is set up with betting, news, everything else. So it's called Thunder Sports. And this league is set up as a 16-team Dynasty Football League, which means it's going to be a little bit harder. But here's the caveat. We've been playing fantasy football in a wrong way for many years. And what do I mean by that? You only have 6 skill position players on a field at a time. So I took away the 7th or 8th off of that field. There is a quarterback. Then you have a required running back, a required receiver, and a required tight end. And then 2 flex positions. So you can run 3 tight ends. You can run 3 receivers. You could run 3 running backs. It's all up to you to better match the NFL. I am somebody who loves matching the NFL. I want the fantasy experience to match the NFL experience. That's why when I'm doing other drafts, I love auction drafts. I love placing a value on a player and trying to get him. I love trying to find the deals. That is the type of player I am. In some of my other leagues, I will do auction drafts for that reason. So the first league, 16 team, but all the points are accurate. So you know how some leagues will have the passing touchdowns will be worth only 4 points, not 6. They're at 6 points. You got 6 points for them. Defense matters a little bit more. Bumped up the defensive points by I think it's 2 per tier, but you have 1 less player. So you have 1 less player playing each week, which takes down the roster count. It's your set lineup with your quarterback, then your 5 skill position players, a kicker, and then a defense. So out of all those, and then you have 15 or 14 bench spots. So that is the first one. Thunder Sports with 14 bench spots, 16 teams. It's big. Now, this is brand new, so you're not coming in as an expansion. We will be doing the full draft when we draft this one. That is the first one. The next one will be our first keeper league. We love Dynasty. I love Dynasty. This one is going to be a keeper league instead. And it's called Only the Tough Will Survive. You're going to have, every year, you will have 6 players that you get to keep from your previous team. Now, the deadline will be before free agency hits. So we're not going to wait around till free agency to find out. The deadline will be probably like March 1st, whatever it may be. You won't get to see where they sign before you keep them. We're gonna run it like free agency, real free agency. Do you want them? Do you not? Depending on where they're going. So that one is a 14 team, simple, normal scoring settings. 14 team keeper league with everything rolling around, but also still the same lineup. So the quarterback, 5 skill positions. So that is our first keeper league that we've ever done, because we've got all dynasty or redrafts. Now, we've got 2 redrafts. These 2 are really, really exciting. I have never heard of this league. It's a new league we're doing. It's called a Pirate League. And here's how the Pirate League works. It is all your normal, prototypical. You got your 6 or 7 extra skill position players besides the quarterback. All that, everything is general scoring as you know it. But each week, the winning team in the matchup gets to force a 1v1 player trade. So whoever you beat, the loser, you can force them into a player-for-player trade, and they have to accept. There's no denying it. They have to accept it. I love this league. I mean, this league's going to get brutal. I really think this league's going to get brutal. But I think it's going to be a blast. I absolutely think this is going to be a blast. Because there are a lot of people that that want to be able to trash talk. And this would be the league that we're going to allow probably the most trash talk in, is going to be the Pirate League. Like, you can't have a league called Pirates and not let it be what it is. I mean, that's just the reality. So that is the one that I am super, super excited about. Never done it. This is the first year we're doing it. It's a redraft. So it's not Dynasty. It's not Keeper. It's a redraft. So nobody keeps their teams the next year. Super excited about this one, though. Pirate League. General scoring, normal scoring settings, but each week the winning team can require a one-for-one player trade with the losing team. It's gonna be wild. And then the other one we're doing our first Superflex League, which is where a quarterback is added into the flex. Points are going to be scored out the butt in this league. Cannot wait for that draft. It's a redraft league, so cannot wait for that. Super, super excited about that one. That one's simple, straight up, just adding a quarterback. It's basically a 2-quarterback flex league, and that's as simple as it gets. So there are four options for you to be able to come in and join. Whether it's your first time playing Dynasty, whether you just want to do redraft leagues, whatever it may be, we've got a league for you. We've got Keeper, Dynasty, redraft. We have fun. My co-leader from the esports organization has been with me for a long time. He and I do these together. He's been doing this for a little bit longer than I have when it comes to Dynasty, but we've both been playing fantasy football for the same amount of time. Then we will have, like, this is for football obviously right now, but we have fantasy basketball Dynasty that's coming down the pipeline. Fantasy baseball Dynasty will be coming down the pipeline, as well as hockey at some point. We're working on that, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So, how do you join? Well, it's really, really simple. In the description is the Discord server. But I'm also going to put the link for the app, which is the Sleeper app. We use Sleeper for all the Dynasty stuff for football. We're working on everything else. I may use ESPN for baseball next year, as Sleeper is trying to get their baseball background and all the data and everything set up. So I'm working with them right now, trying to get that set up, working on that to be able to be done by next March is my goal. It's what I'm hoping. They have football and they have basketball, waiting on the baseball. Now, if you love just picking games. We will have the pick'em. I run a pick'em league every year. Pick'em straight up, winners, losers. And then we got pick'em with the spreads. So you're picking the spreads, how close games are going to be, which is what I was talking about with my podcast last year. Really caught fire in the middle of the year when there were, with the bye weeks, there was 13 games, 14 games, and I would win 11 or 12 of them. I really shot up the standings once I figured out exactly how I was doing everything. So I am really pumped and excited about this. Really, really pumped and excited about this. And let's see, we're at 15 minutes. So this is Saturday for you guys, is when this is getting released. I recorded this on Friday, FYI, and then realized that I wanted to put a little bit more into the description for you guys to be able to have. So in the description is everything. As far as the players are concerned, we're not going to spend a bunch of time because I'm not going to give you my final list until training camp is over with. I'm just going to give you 5 players at each position and then a couple of sleepers. So quarterback, running back, tight end, and wide receiver. Obviously, quarterback really doesn't have much allure outside of Cam Ward, but I will say Jackson Dart, Tyler Show, Jalen Milroe, and then depending on how everything really plays out, Will Howard could sneak into there as the 5th, because right now the Steelers don't have a quarterback. It seems like Aaron Rodgers is, still presumably going to be the quarterback, but he didn't want to sign because he doesn't want to be at OTAs, doesn't want to be at this. Well, that's kind of why you sucked the last 2 years, because you don't put in the work. You're old, and you don't actually know as much as you think you know, and you've got a brand new team again. And this is why it takes you forever to figure it out, and your offensive line is awful. So I don't know if he's going to sign with the Steelers or not. I have no clue. But honestly, Cam Ward's number 1. I'm not doing a rankings, but Cam Ward's number 1. There's no question. And then Dart, Show, Milroe to me is a really sneaky one. And I think Will Howard is sneaky because Mason Rudolph may just be a bum. It's really just that simple. It really is. For the running backs, 5 running backs that I really think you need to look out for. I believe R.J. Harvey with the Broncos will start. Fully believe Genty will start. Fully believe Judkins will start. I don't know about Henderson right now. I don't know about Johnson because the Steelers may like Jalen Warren. Caleb Johnson's so much better. So much better. But look out for those 5. So Johnson and Henderson may or may not be starting the year. But Genty, Judkins, R.J. Harvey, they will all start the year as the starters. I don't think Jerome Ford beats Judkins out. Judkins, I think, has way too much ability. Even if Ford's the starter, I think Judkins plays more. I really think that's how it's going to be at the running back position. But there's going to be 8 to 10 new running back starters in the NFL by the time we get to week number 8. This running back class is so deep. There will be 8 to 10 new starters or tandems because there will be ones that, they're the second one, but we've seen this. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery do just fine. It doesn't cause a problem. So those are the running backs to look out for right now. When you look at the tight ends, honestly, Loveland and Warren, everybody knows about them. Not even going to worry about that. Mason Taylor for the Jets, I love. I think that was a really good signing. Elijah Arroyo for the Seahawks, really good signing. And then the underlying one is Harold Fannin for the Browns. And Njoku has a lot of injury issues. Harold Fannin could actually end up being the starter for a good amount of the season. So for me, he is a sleeper pick in fantasy, and I think he's got a lot of underlying talent and definitely an underrated ability to come in and contribute immediately. So Loveland and Warren, everybody knows. But look out for Arroyo. Look out for Mason Taylor. And then definitely look out for Harold Fannin. Definitely look out for Harold Fannin. At receiver, Tet McMillan to me is one of the best locks. His size, how Bryce Young is going to need to throw the ball up to him, I think he's a lock. I've got Golden sitting in my top 5. I think he ends up being the second receiver day one. I think he gets the opportunity immediately to make an impact. And then Jaden Higgins for the Texans. These two Texans receivers, Knoll and Higgins, they're sneaky. Those were sneaky picks by the Texans. I like Higgins a little bit more because he's bigger. Burden I like as the slot receiver for the Bears, being used in a very complementary role where I think he's really got potential. And then another guy absolutely is Jack Beck. I know there's not a lot of people because it wasn't a flashy pick. It wasn't a sexy pick for the Raiders to go with Jack Beck. They got guys with character. They got guys that can just play. They got guys that can just do what they're supposed to do. That's worth everything. That is worth everything. And Jack Beck, I believe, can come in 750 receiving yards, 5 or 6 touchdowns as a rookie, and I think he'll be just fine in that Raider offense as the wide receiver too. I think he's got a lot of potential, and he's just a solid possession receiver. A guy that's going to catch the ball when you throw him the football. You can't ask for anything else. You cannot ask for anything else. All right, guys. It is Saturday for you. Friday night for me. Getting ready to head to work. I put all the information down in the description. I relabeled out all the leagues that are available to join. There could be more. If you have Discord, I put the Discord server is always down there now. Go in there, open up a ticket, tell me which league you want to join, and I will get you the invite for the specific league. I put the link for the app also in the description that we use, Sleeper. Then I put, we do have ESPN leagues that will be for other sports because Sleeper does not have everything. So that will be for baseball as of right now, unless they can get the background system set up before March. But for football and basketball, we've got set up for Sleeper, but mostly football right now. And yes, I am getting the leagues filled now, as we will be drafting through August, because if I've got 10 drafts, I can't do them all in a weekend. So it's going to be sometimes during training camp. And in a league that's not Dynasty, like our redraft leagues, you can technically draft earlier and be okay because it's a lot less players. The waiver wire is still full because we've 12 teams and it's just fine. So join up. Message me on here. Okay, put down in the comments that you want to join up. I will get you the links to join up, and then we'll rock and roll from there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I absolutely love fantasy football. I love the different people that it's brought together, that I now know because of it, the different players from across the country. That excites me because I love having players from Seattle, Denver, Philadelphia, love having Boston, then you got ones from Florida, and I love that. Absolutely love it. So join me in fantasy football. If you love fantasy football, I've got the league for you. Let's go ahead and have some fun together. All right, guys, that is it for this week. We're going to open up on Monday with the NBA playoff kind of recap of what's gone on, and we'll see where everything's at that point in time. The Cavs and the Pacers open on Sunday. Eastern Conference semifinals first game is on Sunday. So we're going to see what happens. We are going to see what happens, and we'll see how everything plays out. I thank you guys deeply for hanging out with me this week. Thank you so much for following. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking the podcast. It helps me out a ton, and I deeply appreciate it. It's the weekend, everyone. Have a great one. Make it the best one you can. I know I've got a doubleheader soccer game to coach in the morning. Can't wait for this. The kids are excited. So am I. Fantasy football, baby. Fantasy football. I absolutely love it. come join me, play, and let's have some fun and win a championship. Guys, have a great weekend. For Sports Talk with Hawk, I am Hawk, and I'm out. See you later.